We're live.
We are from the nation's capital.
Hmm.
I happen to be in Ottawa tonight. Grayden's in the real center of the universe.
Central Elgin.
Yes, of course. And look how well we can do Mayor's Update from anywhere as long as we get an internet connection. For those of you that don't know, I'm at AMO, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. Councillor Clark and Councillor Reimel are here with me. We've been having just a very busy 2 or 3 days. We have one more delegation tomorrow morning, then we're popping in the car and heading home. But it's just been kind of meeting after meeting, and then all those meetings on the sideline of all those things you also want to get done. But I'll give you a share of kind of what some of the major things that we've done here, along with today's Minister Flack's speech, because he's the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. He is kind of the fellow in charge of AMO, his ministry, and so his speech today, what we'd expect. He's he's doing a pretty good job with what he's working on. And then the ministerial bear pit. This is all the ministers of the provincial government, all there. And there's 4 microphones, and for an hour long, mayors or councillors can ask questions of whatever minister they want. They have like 45 seconds to ask the question, and then more than one minister can share the answer if they want. It's just pretty exciting. I remember one of my watching AMO sessions before, I guess before this government, and there might have been 10 ministers there. Every minister of the Crown was here today, except maybe 1 or 2. It's really
Incredible.
quite unique to see, and it really adds to the transparency. Hey, speaking of transparency, Grayden, remember the transparency piece? We won an award. I forget the name of the group, the Transparency Group, I guess, for doing Mayor's Update. They said that's a really transparent thing to do. We put forward another one this year at the city, and it looks like we may be, because some of the public meetings and other stuff we're doing, and it's quite unique how many people say, "Well, I don't know about it. You don't tell us about it." Well, your community is winning awards for being transparent across Canada, and I was asked to go to their award show because we're a previous award winner, right?
Incredible.
So we'll see if I can make that happen too. But that was the transparency piece from today. Well, let me just kind of run down what we've been accomplishing at AMO, and then we'll get to some of the special stuff happening in Elgin. And please don't stop asking questions. We've got answers for you. The transparency piece is important, right? But first of all, we got here Sunday, and we had a few other people we met on Sunday, but mostly Monday morning started the work. And the first meeting we had was with the Ontario Medical Association. They had kind of put out a call this year. Is there any municipalities that would like to talk to us? We said, sure, that's a great one for us. We can talk some of the great success we've had on physician recruitment, and they thought our numbers were kind of outstanding. They don't know of many communities where there's actually docs asking for patients, and we happen to have that. But then the head of the Ontario Medical Association is one of the emergency room doctors at St. Thomas. And so they did know about St. Thomas because I guess they've been told all about it. But great conversation with them about the challenges and opportunity relating to physician recruitment and placement, primary care access, and healthcare planning. So it was a great chat. This is the first year we've had a chance to do some of those, not ministerial delegations, but to talk to other groups. So right following it, I had a meeting with myself with President Devlin, General Devlin from Fanshawe, the president of Fanshawe, who was up here also, because it's municipal affairs. And he and I had a great hour-long chat over at the Chateau Laurier about ensuring that Fanshawe really gets invested in the training system for some of the new industries that are coming to our community, and how far out we have to prepare for PowerCo and Vinode and even other industries around us. We think some of the other industries that are currently in St. Thomas, we could also really help with some of the skilled trades training for them too. So good long conversation with a little bit of advocacy work going on after it, with some of the ministers of the Crown that I could speak to on the sidelines. So we'll see what we can do with expanding a training center at Fanshawe College St. Thomas.
Mhm.
But it was a typically good day because that was the day we started the new bus route that includes Fanshawe College in St. Thomas. The Middlesex connects number 3 that goes to London
Mhm.
will now also do a stop at Fanshawe in St. Thomas, at the South Campus of Victoria Hospital in London,
Mhm.
and where else? Doesn't matter. More connections in London, more connections in St. Thomas to get people back and forth, but specifically that'll help students trying to get to Fanshawe College in
That's
St.
huge.
Thomas
Yeah.
too. That's a big thing. The next delegation we had was at the Minister of Finance.
Mhm.
And this was a unique one because it used to only be, you kind of individually did your own municipality and tried to get things that were important for your community. And this is important for our community, but Mayor Petrie in Ingersoll and his uh, CAO were with us at this one
Mhm.
collectively. So we've been trying for 2 years to get the Minister of Finance to give us a better method of valuing businesses from a tax point of view. So as we build PowerCo, for example, or if we
Mhm.
build Vinode, what is the value of that building from a taxation point of view? We have in our mind what it would be, but we'd like it to be more standard across the province of Ontario,
Mhm.
so that also as you're trying to attract industry, you're doing similar things to other communities. So we haven't talked to the minister on that. And the other side of it is almost every business in Ontario, because of the way it's currently structured, once they start paying taxes to a municipality, they start the appeal of those taxes,
Yeah.
right? And we're trying to get that to. It's okay if you can appeal your taxes, but as it stands right now, sometimes it's about a 10-year process to go through the appeal. And if the
Mhm.
business wins its appeal, then whatever the downside of that tax has to be paid back to that business for 10 years. I remember when it happened with the Ford Motor Company in Southwold,
Mhm.
and I recognize that I think even Amazon is appealing their taxes on their
Yeah.
building now. So, you collect taxes from this business, but you have to put so much of it away just in case they win their appeal. We're asking the minister to help us not let it go on for so long so that the appeals are much shorter, or to
Mm.
make the appeal not retroactive. That's your new taxes from the day forward. And so then
Right. Right.
we're not having to put, so when we get to some of our new industries, we're trying to make it work, but that's was another delegation with the Minister of Finance. And
Mm.
then we met with Minister Calandra, a good old friend, and he's the
Mhm.
Minister of Education. And I will suggest that Arthur Voden came up 4 or 5 times. Um, but we mostly wanted to talk to him about Minister of Education is also responsible for early years and
Mhm.
childcare, and so we talked to them some of the new childcares we have coming up, where the system wasn't working as smoothly as we wanted it to, we couldn't go as
Mhm.
fast, and where there's a real time limit on when we can have access funds from its minister. And he
Mm.
went, "What a great idea! We can look into both of those." And then we talked specifically about Voden and what's
Mhm.
savable, what isn't, and
Incredible.
will the city move forward on taking Arthur Voden? And we've got a few people looking at that building right now to make sure that we know there's some pieces to it that can be valuable to the city, and the location where it is in the city is pretty valuable. But if it gets so expensive doing the demolition or taking pieces of it away in order to be able to take it and use it for housing, anyway, we're at the point where yes is the answer, but let's see what yes really means on taking Arthur Voden when it moves now into September without any students going into it. We can't let it
Mm.
really sit there for long. So it's
Incredible.
great to have a friend at the Ministry of Education.
Mhm.
Um, then we met. Well, this is another joint group because it was Warden Shiger,
Mhm.
Mayor Josh Morgan from London, and myself, and the Minister of Transportation, all about the economic highway that the rest of you know as Highbury Ave, and how we can get MTO to take over Highbury Ave and help make it a 4 lane and a safer road.
Mhm.
And we talked a lot about what the minister's already doing with Highway 3 to make a anti-truck route, if you will, out of PowerCo and get it to the 401. So really open, good communication with the minister being able to certainly to can carry on the conversation about hybrid and keep moving it forward.
I saw a notice as well about Highway 3 from St. Thomas over to Elmer, construction starting on that.
Well, not construction, but now open meetings about it.
Hmm.
So, there's some conversation. I think one of the stats I read this week that within 20 years, that piece of Highway 3 will be on capacity. Well, that's still a pretty long period of time, but it's great that they're looking at it early, much like we're doing on our transit studies and the 20-year look at it. And I think I saw from a map a number of alternate what Highway 3 could look like between St. Thomas and Elmer. As we know, Highway 3 now runs into Yarmouth Yards and kind of ends at Yarmouth Centre Road. All right, so the eastbound Highway 3 is still Centennial and then Talbot, right? And that works, and it won't work if Yarmouth Centre Road south, because the Talbot and Yarmouth Centre Road is a pretty crowded intersection for, especially if there was trucks. So,
well, you try getting through that road anytime during the day, like if you're trying to go north and south, you're going to be a minute.
Right. So so the city of St. Thomas will give input on the Highway 3 between St. Thomas and Elmer study, as Elmer will also give input. Central Elgin will get, Central Elgin and the other communities, Elgin County too, about what does this mean. And of course, the minister's also looking for public input. What would you would you like? How would you redo Highway 3 between St. Thomas and Elmer? And if you would do something, when would you do it? When would it be needed? I drive it a fair bit now, and I don't find it overcrowded yet. But we are, with the discussion of the industries that we're putting in, there's conversation about what do you do with all that traffic? Well, we just don't think much of it's heading to Elmer. Right? Right? Yeah. Most of it would be heading to the 401 using Highway 3 going the other way. So, but Elmer's also putting in some new industries. There's a new door company and some other things that are happening there. They want to know how their roads will look like. And so Warden Jaguar was also talking about that. So it's great to have these, when the Mayor of London, the Mayor of St. Thomas, and the Warden of Elgin County sit down in front of the Transport Minister, he kind of gets a little more attention than if we did it separately. Right, so great to have the help from our friends.
Absolutely.
Then a great meeting with Minister Flack. Like I can't see Minister Flack whenever I want to, apparently, but we're here, and so we were talking about different grant applications for building, for housing, for affordable housing, for supportive housing, and of course some funding for our DWARF, our wastewater plant, right? Yep. Which still isn't paid for, and we said we continue to ask the other levels of government over the next 3 years to build on it. So that was our meeting with him today, and then an old friend, Minister Jones, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, is, and she's always so nice to deal with. But our reason for talking to her today, because we've been doing pretty well on some of the medical stuff, certainly physician recruitment and stuff. But I wouldn't know this, but the adult day program that we run at Valley View, right, that we've just recently got some money to expand, and we would like to do another pilot outside of Valley View, is healthcare. It's the Ministry of Health. It's not the Ministry of Long-Term Care. So we went and spoke to Sylvia today and thanked her for all the work that she's done, like with Indwell, on the healthcare side of that type of housing, and it's always great to just reinforce. But this was the more spots we can get in adult daycare program at Valley View or offsite in a separate site, the more those the families that are dealing with a senior living at home can get them into a day program and get them out with other people. Or part of the day program is also some overnight respite for caretakers who have a senior in their home, that they can stay overnight also. right? And so it's just great for us to expand it as much as we can, as many new spots as we can get, because it leaves seniors in a home, but lets the people taking care of them have some spare time. So anybody have any
Incredible.
comments on any of that would be great. The last one is tomorrow morning. We have one more delegation at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that's the Minister of Long-Term Care, where we're going to talk about how do we get some more beds? Can we expand? Can we get approval from the Minister of Long-Term Care to expand Valley View, or what do we need to do? We know that our future is pretty deep with the need for more long-term care beds. The county has 3 homes and we have 1, and trying to make it work really well for the region.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the sit down and really ask for something meetings. And then just about everywhere, I was a little late running downstairs to meet Minister Flack today, and I kept getting stopped by friends, right?
Yeah.
Ran into Ernie Hardeman, hadn't seen him in a long time. Ran into Kate Burns because she's here with the Western Warden stuff. Ran into other Western Wardens, and and so wherever you're walking through at the Rogers Center or through the Weston, I'm finding old friends, including some ministers of the Crown of the province, but are also old friends from Parliament for me. So it's just been great.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased,
And
it's I'm glad to be here.
yeah, it's just Ottawa's a wonderful place, in terms of what can be done there, the friends you can meet, the networking opportunities.
Right.
And
And it's got a special memory for me. I spent 12 years here
yeah,
as a member of Parliament, so it's really quite unique to see some old friends from those days. And I have honestly just coming out of a restaurant last night, ran into a young guy that worked in my office up here.
yeah.
And he gave me a big hug and said, "Congratulations on your retirement." I'm not sure that's a positive statement, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Did you tell him you also just opened another 2 Wendy's with
Yeah,
your
no, I
business
did.
partner
And
this year?
no, it's
Business
amazing how
partners?
well they follow what we do. But it was great. And
Yeah.
other staffers who used to be other ministers, staffers when I was up here in the federal government, have now either in the provincial government or
Mhm.
here working now for national organizations and stuff. So it's really quite fun to be. This has been very good for me, but we get a lot done for the city of St. Thomas by doing this work too.
So
And
you were saying you were coming out of a restaurant. What are some of your top 5 restaurants in Ottawa?
well, in case Stephanie's watching, I honestly think one of the best pizza places in the world, Gabriel's, the chain
Mhm.
that's in Ottawa, and I think they probably have 20 stores in the Ottawa, Kingston
Mm.
area. I think it's one of the best pizza places, and since Mayor's update is causing me to miss dinner tonight, that
You're
may be
thinking
what
about
I'll
it a
have
lot?
to have, right? Um, right here in the West, and if you want high end, right here in the West, in the
Mhm.
Shore Club is
Mhm.
like one of the best steak and seafood places in the world.
Mm.
But you better bring 2 wallets. It's not cheap. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's lots of other in between here, whether it's the other types of steakhouses or
Mhm.
we missed lunch today because we're doing things. So we walked into the Rideau Center, which is attached here.
Yep.
Of course, went to their food court, and I found a neat uh, Chinese buffet, kind of not buffet, but takeout place. Right
Mhm.
next is a shawarma place, and Lisa Higgs says, "Oh, I'm in Ottawa. Got to have shawarma, right?"
Really?
Gary went and got himself a sub, and Joan had what I had too. So look, sometimes you can just satisfy what you need by going to a food court too, but it's
What's
not many steps from here.
No, totally. What's your take on the Elgin Street Diner? That's one of my favorite
Oh yeah,
places.
no. Look, it was one of my favorite breakfast places, and I lived in the market when I was here in
Mhm.
Ottawa, and it was like 50 feet away. So Sunday morning, almost every Sunday morning was head over there and trying to get my roommate to go with me
Yep.
because they hated a one person table because it's a pretty
Ah,
crowded restaurant, right, for a diner,
yeah, and
right?
24
So
hours.
yeah, no,
That was one
right.
of my
So
favorite things about it too, is, you do a
yeah.
late night,
Well, and there were certainly times when coming home from Parliament at 10 o'clock and not having had supper yet,
right?
it was another place. But in the market, there was always a number of places we could eat.
Mhm.
It's not as I love this city, and it really is good, but it's got a bit of a homeless problem right now too. The
Mhm.
market isn't as special as it once was because it's got some scars. now of homelessness and such. And I know they're working really hard on it too, like we are.
Hmm.
Um, and it's such a special place to visit. You know how you are
Yeah.
with. I remember it from 15 years ago, and you go, "Wow, it wasn't like this then, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I spent a lot of time in Ottawa, and I've loved it every time.
Well, and Lisa went to university here,
Wow.
so we're all telling war stories about Ottawa, and even Gary Clark taught after Teachers College, taught here, or part of his practicum from Teachers College taught in his school here. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
No.
we got any questions? Because I can't see them on my screen.
No, we just have one comment in from Margaret McKnight. She's just
Well,
joined
hi,
in a little bit
Margaret.
later, but
Yeah,
she's catching up on all the things. We've got some
great.
events to run through here.
You better do some events. I'll try and look on my side too.
All right. We've got the Master the Macaron, August 19th, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Horton Farmers Market. Spots are limited. Reach out to kitchen at Horton at stthomas.ca for more details. I'm speculating that's all about making macarons. And
Right.
Genevieve, if you don't know,
Well, wait.
um,
Might be
yeah,
about eating them too.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah, yeah,
so.
right.
But
Yeah,
her macarons are second to none.
yeah.
They're
No.
so good.
Yeah. So,
Um, Space Snacks and Galactic Sodas, all hands on deck food drive. That's August 20th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Real Canadian Superstore.
well, I'm
Uh,
happy to see some of these new businesses in town because that
yeah,
business hasn't been in the town that long.
no,
Helping our food bank. There's so many existing businesses do a great job of helping our food bank or our harvest hands and stuff. But it's really good to see food bank food drives from many businesses in town.
hmm it's really incredible. It's really needed, and it's also you can do it at Foodland in Port Stanley and the Independent in Elmer. So all three are participating in there,
Great.
which is fantastic. And of course, Fill the Rink. It's I can't believe it's that time already. This is an event that MyFM helps host for the St. Thomas Stars, and it's September
Yeah.
11th, 7:30 p.m. at the Joe Thornton Community Center.
That's got to be like opening night for the Stars. I
I'm
mean,
pretty
like
sure,
it's
yeah.
September, but but hockey's back already. I'm just still kind of into baseball, and of course football will come along shortly too. So yeah,
Yeah.
for us political junkies and sports junkies, it's a good time of year.
It's a great time of year, and MyFM has free tickets. You just have to contact them, and they'll get you hooked up.
Perfect.
United Way has announced their plane pull, which is October 2nd,
Right.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the St. Thomas Municipal
You got to
Airport.
you got to pull a plane.
Yeah, love
Right.
this idea. Love this
If
concept.
you pull the plane fast enough, does it take off?
There's only one way to find out, Mayor Joe,
Yeah.
and I think
No,
that's
no.
participate.
How do we get that team? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's not likely to happen with the mayor on your team. Where
You
we're
never
gonna
know. Hey, I've got
pull
faith.
a plane fast enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've got these ones have been mentioned before, but they're coming up fast. So we got the free ice cream social, which is August 19th, 1 to
Yep.
3 p.m.
Sorry, Andrew, we're not going to
Yep.
be back in time tomorrow to get there. I don't think we're going to be coming in
Yeah.
through Toronto, so Toronto's traffic's going to slow us down a little. But
Yeah, never
me-
fun.
me not getting ice cream is probably not a downside, so that's okay.
Hey, as long as you get Gabriel's tonight after this show.
Yeah. Okay, quiet. Stephanie may be watching.
Yeah. To participate in that, it's encouraged to bring a non-perishable food item in support of the St. Thomas Elgin Food Bank.
Right, great thing to do there too.
And come try Ringette. This is adult, August 22nd, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Joe Thornton Community Center. Come and try a new sport, meet other players, and sign up for the upcoming season. Helmet, skates, and gloves are mandatory. There you go.
Right. But
That's
learn how to play ringette. The ring
Yeah.
itself is fairly soft, so the ice is not.
Yeah. Just, yeah. Movie in the Park, August 28th, 9 p.m., Pinafore Park. And they've got Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Great film. And of course, the Middle River Music Festival is coming up fast. That's August 29th, 2 p.m. to
Right.
11 p.m. at Common Ground Farm. This is another incredible family-friendly, eco-conscious festival, and it features, fantastic bands, delicious local food vendors, guided farm tours,
It's a
a
festival.
vibrant flower maze,
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
activities for kids, and a high-energy after party with a live DJ. So you'll have a great time as they close out the night. Tickets are still available.
Excellent.
Savor the Horton Local Chef Series is September 14th to October 5th. And that's 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Horton Farmers Market. Reach out to the kitchen. And of course, Downtown Oktoberfest, September 19th.
Can't
2
miss
p.m.
that.
to 9:30 p.m. free train rides, pop-up crafters and artisans, live music and performance. And I'll close it out with Bridges to Better Business. Get your tickets; they sell out
Yeah,
fast.
yeah,
September
that's
24th.
right in that same week or within a week of it. Yeah,
5 days from Oktoberfest. So those
yeah.
poor guys at St. Thomas
I'm
Economic
trying to put
Development.
all these things in my calendar so I know I'm either home or not home. So there's lots going on.
And it's going to be different this year because it's not at the Elgin County Railway Museum. It's at the
No,
St.
we've
Anne's
got St.
Center
Anne's, right? Yeah,
with the food showcase not to be missed. It's absolutely
right.
phenomenal. Live music and including Vinatra String Quartet and the dueling pianos.
Well, that's where the dueling pianos are. Is at
Yeah.
Bridges to Better Business. So perfect.
So there you go. That's a quick rundown of all these
Yeah,
events that are coming
well,
up
and
fast.
again, we thank Jennifer for her work
Hmm.
on that, right? And Jennifer, the most organization I've seen, and I guess Taylor too, from an emo point of view, booked in the right hotel, got all the delegations listed on 3 or 4 places, all in my calendar.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Gary and Joan and Lisa and I have all been saying this is about as organized as we can get when we're sent to one of these things because it's you got 15 minutes with the minister. You better be prepared. You better have great details of what you're going to talk about,
Hmm.
and maybe some reason why you're there. But thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer, for all the work, and Taylor also because I know she put a lot of this together too.
Hmm. We should also give a shout out. We were both at the unveiling or the ribbon cutting for the sculpture that went up
Oh
at
well,
Yarmouth Yards last week.
Brandy, right?
Yeah.
What a special artist! What a special person!
Hmm.
And she's done many. And if you get a chance, go to her website because she's done lots of
Phenomenal
really
stuff.
unique, novel stuff. This is you know, we wanted to brag a little bit about Yarmouth Yards. You've got a,
Hmm.
a 1,500-acre industrial park with
Hmm.
billions of dollars of new businesses being built in it, and we think we should have something significant to be the gateway to it.
Yeah.
And so that's what this sculpture was. It's truly a ring of toy trains, right? Because Railway City and
Hmm.
very whimsical. And I can't see a car full of kids or a family driving down Highbury without going, look, look, look,
Yeah.
because I've been 3 times since the thing went up, and I smiled each and every time.
Hmm.
I know the first time I said wow, but after that I go, yeah, that's cool.
Totally.
That looks neat. I'm sometimes and you're an artist.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes very terrible at picking what's good art and what's bad art.
Hmm.
But I like this one as a neat introduction to the largest amount of industrial in our community,
Hmm.
and it's a neat gateway to tell people where we've come from and where we're going.
Absolutely. And a shout out to our engineering teams at the City of St. Thomas because they put a lot of work into sorting out the cement and the signage that's below it, as
Right,
well as the
right,
electrical going in. So there's
right.
all
And
this stuff behind the scenes.
sitting in that storm management pond, you even did
Yeah.
a beehive about. It's
It's
quite
coming out
unique.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
So
you want the
excellent.
deep dive on the sculpture? Well, it's not it's an
Right. It's
8-minute
a fun.
video. For the
Yeah.
beehive, it's a deep dive. It's a deep dive
Right.
beehive.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, right.
I'm starting my
Um,
own show called Deep Dive.
Deep
Yeah,
dive
that's what I'm doing.
beehive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun to see it get put together, and it's that fear too, because there's like the three inner, or I guess there's four interlocking pieces, and if
Right.
like they're off by more than a millimeter, they don't go together.
Right.
And so they're lifting these
Huh?
up on a crane and they're bringing them
Oh no.
down. And
No.
there was that moment where things weren't quite
Yeah.
lined up,
Right.
and they're getting the crowbar and they're just like,
And the the beauty of art after the fact, as you know,
yeah.
as an artist, and not so much a sculpture, but I know you've done
Hmm.
some,
Oh,
right?
I've done a lot of
That
sculpture. Yeah.
that we get together and you go, wow, that wasn't as easy as we thought, right? But
Totally.
it
Yeah.
really looks beautiful. It's a unique sculpture that will be there for a long, long time,
Hmm.
announcing the great industrial efforts in St. Thomas, but with a bit of whimsical to it. And so,
Hmm.
Brandy, thank you. You are more than gracious on the day of the ribbon cutting, and we had a couple of great conversations. And I love your work. And she's local, by the way. I mean, she grew up in Woodstock, and
Hmm.
her father was a factory worker, but she'd been to St. Thomas, so she knew what we were trying to do, and it was quite unique to have her come do this sculpture.
It was very, very cool. Steve Peters is asking about seeing more and more people riding electric scooters, and they can go quite fast on those scooters.
Yeah.
He's asking about the rules around that.
Well, let me say it was a discussion today in the Bear Pit
Hmm.
with the Minister of Transportation. I think you can expect some certification type things coming out. If you buy one that can do a certain speed, it will not be allowed on sidewalks or will not be allowed. Right. So
Yeah.
some of the details of those bylaws are coming out. Many municipalities are asking the same questions as us. So I guess the best thing for the mayor to say right now is stay tuned because I don't know each of the pieces. But if it can go over 32 miles an hour, it's a vehicle. If it can go over a certain something else, it's an accessible scooter. So
Hmm.
let's make sure that we're as people are purchasing them, they're being told where they could use them. Because I hate somebody to already buy it and then realize, wait, I can't even ride this to work. So,
Yeah.
right. And then obviously then sharing with the police how to enforce that and the bylaw people with how to enforce that because
Hmm.
there are certain tweaks you can do to some to make them go faster and that would take them from one category to another. So look, I've given you everything I learned about 2 hours ago at the Bear Pit with the Minister of Transportation, but he was asked that question and gave a very detailed answer. And so I think stay tuned for more.
Very good. And I've also in St. Thomas, I've seen some of them driving on the roads going very slow. My favorite
Yes,
one was in the like where Dalewood is across the bridge. And there
yes.
was someone with a trailer and an electric vehicle that was going, maybe 10 kilometers an hour, which is also kind of dangerous.
Got to have a little bit of both, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we have lots of those active transportation trails
Hmm.
where we could live peacefully with bicycles, scooters, and other things. But we want to make sure that there's also safety happening. We've heard lots of reports from some of the docs about injuries to youth on scooters or falling off scooters.
Mm.
And that's the other thing the minister talked a bit about today. So trying to make sure that safety equipment's being worn and making it mandatory where certain speeds are allowed or certain ages are using the equipment. So I think we'll hear a whole lot more. And thank you, Councillor Peters, for asking that because there's a lot of communities talking about it right now.
Hmm. And shout out to the Railway City Music and Arts Festival that happened this
Oh,
weekend as
yeah.
well. They did another phenomenal job, 4-day
Yeah.
festival. For anyone who's not been involved in something like that, 4 days is an
Yeah.
epic amount of
Oh,
work.
it is a pile of work. And I keep saying to Rick Nemeth and the whole bunch, right,
Yeah.
of people that are involved in putting it on and the volunteers, you know, uh, I always thought 2 days of great might be better than 4 days of hard work, but they're now doing 4 days of hard work and
Hmm.
great, right? So
Right?
I just
Packed
heard nothing but
schedules.
popular on the music side. How good the bands were, how respectful the whole place was, what a great time it was. So way to go,
Hmm.
excellent, a huge addition to the city of St. Thomas. Thank you very much. We're happy to also contribute, and for those businesses that were sponsors of the Railway City Arts and Music Festival. Thank you for also making your community a better place.
Hmm. And Tracy Dunn's just made a comment. She says, has the city opted in? Ontario's current scooter rules, 2026, are governed by OREG 38919, a provincial pilot project that runs until November 27th of 2029. You can only
Yeah,
ride.
it's a pilot. It's a pilot
Yeah.
project, and that's what the minister was talking about today. That from it will come real regs that every community will get. So there's been some other communities that have been part of the pilot project that's going on.
Mhm.
We already had some other stuff in place, so we haven't been directly involved in the pilot piece. But as we heard today from the provincial government here at AMO, hang on, it's coming any second now. So
And what Tracy's saying, and we'd have to double check this, is says without a local bylaw, like if you haven't opted into this regulation, riding is illegal everywhere in that municipality, roads, sidewalks, trails, parks, all of it. Have you heard that?
no, I have not because we certainly aren't enforcing it if that's the case. So we'll check that. But the real answer isn't to what you're doing now is what will we do permanently,
Hmm.
right? What will we do to match the rest of Ontario and the province of Ontario through the Minister of Transportation we'll be designating certain vehicles, certain scooters as being allowed certain places. And so we think we'll go with that. The pilot project has taught many communities that, and we'll all be able to accept that.
Very good. And Candace Van Diepen saying the music festival was great. Good to see the park full and enjoying the summer. Kudos to all that made it
Yeah,
happen.
couldn't have done
Absolutely.
better on weather. Did you get any? Was there any rain on the Sunday? No, it went a
It
pretty
was just
good day.
minor little. And
Okay.
we haven't mentioned the Elmer Fair yet either. We were both out at the
Oh
Elmer
no, we were
Fair. It
both
was
at the Elmer Fair.
incredible. Yeah, if you go to Established Media, you can see a bunch of pictures from that. You can see a couple pictures from the Railway City Music and Arts Festival as well.
We were all overbooked on the Friday. The Railway Arts and Music Festival is going on. There was some great stuff happening at Princess Ave Playhouse. There was the Elmer Fair. You and I were both at, and a number of other politicians. We stood around in some pretty hot weather at the Derby site, the demolition Derby site. But it's also, it's funny. Most people think we all know each other well, and we do, but we don't always get together like we're doing here at AMO, or that we did like at. How many was there? 6 of us there at the Elmer Fair, 6 or 7 of us, mayors, right? And so it's just so much fun to see that. And then, of course, 20 years ago, started going to my first Elmer Fair as the member of Parliament, or whatever time it was, and to really talk about some of the many years at the Elmer Fair. It's just and where it is today, and what a great event it is. And now, as a business person in Elmer, we're involved in some of the sponsorship of some of those events in Elmer too, and happy to be there. It's just so great. But the weather couldn't have been better, except it was pretty hot for us old people.
For the young people too. And Steve Peters is reminding us to remind everybody that municipal nominations close on Friday.
Yep, 2:00 Friday afternoon. If you haven't had your number of nominees, nominating people, and your couple of bucks you got to put in to make this happen, it's whatever number it is.
100 to 200 if you're mayor, running for mayor.
100 if you're not.
Yep.
And I'm anxious, because this is like, and Steve will say the same thing. This is like the longest election of all the bunch, right? He was a provincial member of Parliament. That's a 36-day election. Usually I'm a federal member, 32 to 36 days election. Municipal starts in whenever you feel like it, and nominations stop in September, and the election day is October something. So it's still 2 months. I mean, just that 2 months from close of nomination in August, I guess it's 2.5 months till the election day in October, would be enough, right? But lots of new people out there trying dipping their toes in the political pond, and let's see how all make out.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
A lot of friends across Southern Ontario running, and even in my other home in Oliphant, made friends with a mayoralty candidate up there, and so we'll see what's across. For those of us that are political junkies, this is about as good as it gets.
Yep, it's exciting times. All right, well, I think we probably kept you long enough. We got to get you out for dinner.
Yeah. Thank you, and I'll be back in St. Thomas tomorrow afternoon, and having a quick breakfast with Karen Vecchio, who we try to do once a month, but it's been a couple of months now, so we'll do that Thursday, and then another busy week in St. Thomas and in Oliphant. So we'll get through it all, but we won't skip another mayor's update this summer, I don't think. So
we're in it now.
Yeah.
Hey,
we can do it from Ottawa and Ottawa and Sparta.
Oliphant, Ottawa, Oliphant, Sparta.
Yeah. No, we can. You name it. We can do mayor's update.
We got this.
So, thank you. This is great. So thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Take care, everybody.